Cello! Cello! Happy Wednesday, my dudes. So yeah, today we are doing Am I the Asshole? So let's get into that. Boom. Look at that. Sheesh. Maya would make a great Luxie cosplayer. She's like 3 foot tall. I feel like I could pay her since I own her now, since she's my employee. That's how it works, right? I've acquired her as my own. And I feel like I could put her in one of these. I feel like I could just cut this open and she would fit, you know? Am I the asshole for hiding my neighbor's garden gnome because it was scaring my son? My neighbor Cindy, female 34, has a large front garden. She grows flowers and some produce. Sometimes she comes over with extra, which is nice. She also has a gnome village in her garden. You know those tacky garden gnomes you see in lawn and garden stores that you can paint or whatnot? Well, recently, Cindy got a new gnome. For whatever reason, my 5-year-old son has developed a fear of this particular gnome. I'm not sure why, and yes, I have asked him why. I'm sure he's seen something scary on YouTube or something. This gnome is just a normal gnome with like a garden hoe and a basket of flowers, bro. I decided to talk to Cindy. I explained the problem and asked if she would move the gnome to the back garden or behind the bushes on her patio. Cindy refused. I wasn't asking for much. A few days ago, my son was outside playing and his ball rolled into Cindy's yard. He refused to go get it, crying and begging me to get the ball. I got the ball and moved the gnome behind some flower bushes. My plan was to move it back once my son stopped playing. Cindy came out to water the garden, noticed the gnome was gone, and demanded to know where it was. She even threatened to call the police on me over a gnome. After I gave her back the gnome, Cindy told me not to come on her property ever again. I told my wife what happened, and while she thinks Cindy overacted, she also thinks I shouldn't have taken the gnome. She says our son will get over his fear in time and he'll just have to play in the back. I think our son has a right to play in his own front yard without being scared of a gnome. Am I the asshole? So many people are saying you're the asshole, and I know it's like, okay, yes, you did hide her gnome. Cindy could be just like, she's 34. Is she single by herself? Her gnomes are her babies. For all you know, that gnome could be her husband, her sexual partner. Alex, don't even try. Listen. Cindy love her gnome, bro. And as much as you're saying, I feel like my son should be able to play on his front yard, not being scared. I feel like he has that right. Well, Cindy should also have the right to put whatever she wants at her front yard, as long as it's, you know, appropriate without having somebody touch it. I do get where the dad's coming from, because you don't want to see your kid just like in like fear. Like they are terrified of this gnome. And how old is the kid? Homie needs to grow up. Bro, he's 5. He needs to grow the fuck up. You right? Start paying rent, okay? You don't want the gnome no mo? Guess what? Get your own place. No gnome's there. I sympathize with the dad not wanting their son to be scared, right? But it isn't Cindy's problem. You should come up with some kind of solution of like introducing your son to the gnome directly or doing something that's going to be more of a positive reinforcement. Because right now it's like, oh, you're scared? We'll hide it. We'll hide it then. I feel like you're just reinforcing to the child, okay, yeah, this thing is scary. So we have to hide it from you. It's also teaching a lesson to the kid that, oh, something bothers you? Well, we'll just get rid of it then. They're still young. They're only 5, but this is definitely not the proper way to handle the situation. Just show the kid that there's nothing to be afraid of, and then he won't be afraid of it. Exactly. But sometimes you can't even get to that point, especially because, like, think about kids with, like, Santa Claus. You could do everything you can to be like, we love Santa. And, like, in the books and the pictures, are like, oh, we love Santa. But then you bring them for that Santa photo in the mall, and they're fucking terrified. And they're, like, screaming and crying, looking at him like, ah!
Your boyfriend said, man, say cheese.
Santa is real, by the way. He is real. If you say otherwise, you're banned. I've apologized to Cindy. I just hate seeing my son scared and realize I was the asshole. I took Cindy some goodies and bought her a new gnome as an apology. We are back on good terms. My wife and I are helping our son get over his fear. He'll play in the back or at the park. There you go. Good solution. They did realize. See, I like it when there's edits like this where it's like, you think that you're totally right. It's like, I'm not being an asshole. What? And then you put it on this subreddit and people are like, you're being the asshole. And they're like, well, shit, you know what? I guess I was. I apologize and I made up for it. Am I the asshole for not waking my partner up and causing him to miss a family trip? Or no, I feel like this is like a common one between couples. My 26-year-old female and my partner, 28-year-old male, have 5 daughters. 7, 6, 4, 3, 5 months. Pull-out game week. For a long time, there's been an issue with him getting up to help the kids in the morning. He thinks he should be able to sleep in on his days off work, while I think he should get up when the kids and I do, or we should at least be alternating who lies in bed a bit. We've been seeing a therapist who has mentioned she should be helping more in the mornings. That's fair. What do you mean no? Why is everyone saying no? I feel like that's completely fair. If one partner is always waking up in the mornings with the kids, I think that you should have to do the same. Recently, we had a family trip planned to see the zoo with both of our parents, our sisters and their kids. Previously, when we've gone out for the day, I needed to shake my partner awake several times, and he lies in bed while I get the kids ready. He finally gets up 5 minutes before we leave, and I shout at him to get in the car. I mentioned to him that this is very frustrating and it's a lot of work getting the kids ready to go, I bet. And it's not fair to leave it up to me while he lays in bed. He'd apologize and promise the next time he'd get up and help. This is rough though. This is rough. Imagine having 5 daughters and always being the one to have to do everything. The night before the trip, I told him I need him to get awake at 6:30 a.m. so he can get everyone ready to leave by 8 a.m. He said he set an alarm and we went to bed. My alarm went off at 6:30 and I got up, while my partner kept sleeping. I decided I wasn't going to wake him this time and I continued getting the kids ready. At 8 a.m., he was still sleeping, so I loaded the kids in the car and we went off. We arrived at the zoo at 9:30 a.m. and his family asked where he was. I mentioned he was still in bed and chose not to come. At 10:15, I got a phone call from him asking where everyone was. I said we went to the zoo as planned, and I waited for him to get up, but he never did. He got really mad and told me that I should have woken him up like I always do, and I caused him to miss the trip. He then yelled at his mom and complained to her, who then yelled at me in the middle of the zoo that I was being unfair and I should have given him a shake to tell him that to get up and that I was about to leave. My brother jumped in and said it wasn't my responsibility to get him out of bed, and that he needed to take responsibility for himself. A few more words were exchanged, and his family stalked off for the rest of the trip. I had a blast with my kids, parents, sister, and my nephews. When we got home, my partner started at me again about how I should have woken him up. So am I the asshole for not waking him up? Bro, I'm gonna say not the asshole. This is a grown-ass man adult. He is a man. He's a grown-ass human. He gets to work on time. He's able to wake up to his alarm for work 5 out of the 7 days a week. Why the fuck he need you to wake him up? How is alarm already able to wake him up the rest of the week when he needs to do, when he has responsibilities to help you with the kids, all of a sudden he doesn't know how to wake up anymore. You have 5 daughters. Hello? Easy could have tapped him and left, kind of childish as well. I disagree. I think it is. Okay, listen. Is it a slight asshole move to not wake him up and let him sleep? Yes, it was. But I feel like it's a completely necessary one. At this point, it's been over and over and over and over. He hasn't learned his lesson. All he does is she'll just wake me up when I want after I sleep in. Then I'll just get up and she'll wake me up before she leaves. And then we'll just go and it'll be fine. I don't have to take care of the kids. And I get woken up and I get to sleep in. I can just apologize. Oh, I didn't wake up to my alarm. Always putting it off. Always putting it off. Doing it in this way teaches him the lesson of, hey, get your own ass up. You're a grown-ass adult. But I will say, if this wasn't a consistent thing, and this was the one time that he slept in, definitely not justified to not wake your partner up. If this is something that's constantly happening over and over and over again, that's when I say that this is okay. Yeah, you have 5 kids, ages, I forgot again, ages 5 months to 7 years old, and she has to wake up every single day to take care of these kids. And you could be like, well, maybe he is and she's not being honest. They've been going to therapy. And the therapist has recommended that he helps more. And he's apologized and said he was gonna help more. So at the end of the day, I think she's fed up and she's fucking tired and she doesn't need a 6th fucking child. She has 5 she already needs to take care of. She's not gonna add a 6th to her list. And the way that the mom or his mother reacted was like, why wouldn't you do? Yeah, that's the problem, because you babied him too much. Mom, you babied him too much. Now look what you did. It sounds like he always goes to work and on his 2 days off, he says that he should be able to sleep in. And she said, it's unfair, but she's like, but at least let's switch off, which I agree with. I think they should be able to switch off who gets to sleep in. It shouldn't be like, okay, you get 2 days off a week, you get to sleep in those 2 days. Guess what? She gets no days off a week. They're both your kids. Does this woman have a job? Probably take care of 5 kids. They have a baby too. That's so much work. Plus the baby. Oh my God, I can't. Divorce incoming. Yeah. Honestly, I think this is my biggest fear. This is my biggest fear in life. Getting married to somebody, having kids, and then they don't want to take any responsibility for kids. So you're just stuck with taking care of them all the time. That sounds terrifying. Ooh, update. Ooh, update. Ooh, we love an update. After posting this, I received messages expressing concern and advice, so I thought I'd update about how things turned out. The morning after this incident, my partner got out of bed when the kids did and took the older girls out for breakfast. Later, I asked him if he'd be willing to read the thread, and he agreed. He was very subdued afterwards and didn't say much except for agreeing that he was an asshole. The next day, he took off work and saw his GP started on antidepressants, and we had a long talk. Saw his GP, is that general practitioner? Like his, doctor. Stuff like this is like, okay, maybe he's depressed. Okay, good, good. This is great. He was ashamed by how he was acting and to see strangers comparing him to children. He cried when he realized how much he was letting everyone down, especially with his daughters who will grow up thinking this is normal behavior. Oh, we love a strong arc. Whew. He confirmed that all this started when we lived with his parents a few years back. He left home at 17 to get away from his mother, and she told him he'd fail as a man and need a woman to look after him. He felt like a failure, so it was easy for his mother to feed him other ideas. She would also manipulate things that I did to look like he was incompetent as a person. Bro, I told you the mom. I told you the... Tell me I didn't call it. Tell me I didn't fucking call it. Are you kidding me? I'd tell him to relax and he'd handle the dishes, and his mother twisted it into me thinking he was incompetent. So she should just stop helping at all. Wow. I told you this mom is toxic and that she's teaching him this shit. He'd wake up feeling useless, and she managed to convince him that he was unhappy because I wasn't taking care of him the way a wife should. He decided to go no contact with her, which didn't go well. She cried and told him he was a horrible son for abandoning his mother and that I was trying to control him by forcing him to do it. He blocked her, but she'd still use different numbers and continue calling him. After a week or so, he ended up changing his number, and we haven't heard from his family since. He brought up that he was unhappy at work and it wasn't stimulating enough, but he felt like he couldn't leave. I offered to pick up some part-time work, but he said no. He talked to his boss and took some time off and eventually quit. Okay. He spoke to my dad, who used some connections and got him a good job at his company. The new job is primarily work from home position, so he's able to help with the girls more and has more free time. He's able to take the girls to school and watch them play while he works, which they all enjoy. Before he started the new job, he booked a trip for us to go to the snow for a week. He had a blast, and it was lovely to see him relaxed and happy and enjoying our girls in life. He's promised to be more honest about how he's feeling about our relationship, and it's improved immensely. Thank you for everyone that gave the judgment and advice. He says it really helped him see things more clearly, especially the toxic relationship with his mother. Why am I so proud of these people? I don't even know them and I'm crying. Man, it sucks, right? Because it's like some things could look so one-sided, and then after this update, it's like, man, the husband was going through some shit. He was going through a lot of depression. His mom was extremely toxic and completely manipulating the situation and manipulating how he felt and how unhappy he was. I see both sides. It's like, damn, that really sucks. That must have been really hard for him. But the fact that he read this, see, this is what I love. I love a good arc. When they read it and they aren't defensive, they're like, damn, and it humbles them. And they're like, damn. They really absorb it and take it in. That's what I love about the subreddit. It's ones like this where it actually feels like it did some good, because some people need that reality check. I'm gonna say not the asshole at this point. He was an asshole, but I can't call him an asshole anymore. They took so many good steps at resolving the issue and turning this into a healthy and happy relationship that I can't even label someone as an asshole at this point. I'm just happy that they're doing better, you know? Am I the asshole for scaring my sister-in-law with a cardboard cutout of The Rock? My 32-year-old female sister-in-law, 43-year-old female, is super nosy. It's come up before, but she's one of those people that will just deny something to the death, no matter how much proof you have, and then get angry at you for not believing her. Oh no. At my house, the guest bathroom is partially shared with a master bathroom. The toilet and the sink are separate for guests. And then through the door, you can get to the shower, our closets, and another sink. Then through an additional door is the bedroom, if that makes any sense. Okay. Basically, you can get into our bedroom through the bathroom without going through the main door. So when she comes over, she would sometimes take just a bit too long in the bathroom. During maybe third or fourth time, I happened to be walking by the bathroom and heard two doors close. I asked her if she was looking for something in the bedroom and if I could help her find it. She replied with, no, why would I go in your bedroom? And then changed the subject. The next time she was going to come over, I said something small behind the bedroom door, so I could see if it had been opened by the small item being pushed back. Later, I could see that it had been. So for me, confirming that she had been snooping again, I asked directly if she'd been in our bedroom. And she again said something like, I don't care what's in your bedroom, just get over yourself. Bro, what? So yesterday, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law came over, but before that, I ordered a full-size cutout of Dwayne Johnson, which I placed in our bedroom facing the bathroom door. About an hour into the visit, she heads into the bathroom. Very shortly after, there's a scream, a thud, and a door slam. She came out clearly angry. She'd been quite startled and slammed her upper arm into the door frame while turning away from the cutout. Brother-in-law made it worse by asking, well, why were you in their bedroom? But she didn't answer, and they left. She posted on Facebook that she has a big bruise on her arm as a result of my nasty prank. People are saying she could have been hurt worse and that she's too old to be the victim of a childish prank. It wasn't a prank. It was just in there. It was just in there. So if you were honest and not going in there, you never would have seen it. I feel badly that she was hurt, but it wasn't my intention. But I might be the asshole because I think it was hilarious. Okay, you know what? Thinking it's hilarious. Kind of asshole-ish behavior. but really fucking funny, and I agree. I agree. You're right, she is too old to play the victim. I agree. She's 43 years old, and she's playing the victim for doing something that she continually lied about. She kept saying, no, why would I go in the bedroom? Why would I go in your bedroom? Like, oh my God, get over yourself. But you're literally going in the bedroom, and then you got scared by a cardboard cutout, and now you're embarrassed because you ran into the wall and fell on the floor because you're a fucking idiot. Get over yourself. See, if I was OP, I wouldn't have put the cardboard cutout. I would have done that later on. First, I would have put up some cameras. I would have put up some cameras and been like, what is she looking for? Is she taking anything? What is she looking at? Narcissism? Is it just narcissism? But she could be stealing. Not even joking, legit probably a thief. That's what I'm saying.